Hey, welcome back to the Strong Tower Neurotraining Top 5 series. I'm excited to bring you today our top 5 joint motor control exercises. And so we have brain maps for every joint in the body. And what that means is there's an area of your brain dedicated to moving that joint. The better you are at moving the joint, the less risk of injury. Typically, the happier and healthier your brain area specifically for that joint is as well. So we know it's important. What I'm going to do today with you is a test-retest. So we often at Strong Tower have the courage to assess something, do an exercise, and then immediately reassess to see if we found a positive change in movement. Not every trainer out there, not everyone in the fitness space will have the boldness and courage to do that. But we think if you're not assessing, you're guessing, and it's really hard to aim if you don't have a target. So with that, I'm going to start with a basic body weight squat. I'm going to use this box, this low box, as a target to try to get my bottom down to with control in the squat. So starting out with feet about shoulder width apart, we're going to reach the hands out, push the hips down and back. And as you can see, I'm not there yet. So I want to get a little bit more range of motion. If you're doing this at home and you're using a chair or something to sit down to, just make sure it's a stable object. Make sure we're always, of course, moving safe first. So we can do a couple repetitions, make sure that squat pattern's warmed up. And kind of falling back, so I lose control there at the bottom, and that bottom range of motion and control is what we're going to try to improve. So if your squat gets better, often it's easier to get in and out of the car, get off the toilet. I've heard some people in the wellness space sometimes say, oh, you shouldn't squat, or you have this knee condition or this certain thing, you shouldn't squat. Well, guess what? Life demands some level of squatting, so you're telling somebody to lose their functional independence in that case. We think you should actually expand your movement box, not shrink it, and professionals should definitely help people get better, not worse. So the first exercise with joint motor control we're going to do is the jaw. So we're going to work on the temporomandibular joint or the TM joint, and we're going to circle it. So what I want you to do is basically imagine your chin is drawing a circle in space. So we're going to open the mouth part way. We're going to glide the jaw to the side, drop it more, open all the way, bring it over to the other side, and then close it back up. So you're going to circle that jaw around. Make sure you're breathing and maintaining a tall spine, tall posture as you do that. If we went that direction, you could, of course, go the other way. So to try a couple reps going the other way. And all those muscles, nerves around the jaw need to stay healthy, just like the rest of our body. Things from the neck up really matter to the brain. As you can see, the proximity there would definitely mean that those areas are pretty important, pretty critical. The signals don't have very far to travel either. Let's retest your squat. So again, reassess and see, is there a little more control? And I feel like I got a little more control. There's still a little struggle at the bottom, so we'll see if we can keep improving on your squat position. If you find some of these joint motor control drills that are really good for you and provide more range of motion, more stability, more strength, definitely want to come back to them. We think of those as kind of your high performance drills and drills that you want to come back and practice consistently, probably at least once a day. Then hand figure eights. So with this one, we're going to bring the hands from palms facing out, fingers open, to imagining that the pointer finger is going to lead this, and the pointer finger is going to come in towards your belly button first. So we're going to scoop the hands in, bring them back around to where the palms are facing you, and then we're going to scoop back out, extend the wrist, palms facing back out away from you, and get back to our initial position. So again, pointer finger leads, pointer finger comes into the belly button, scoops up towards the ceiling, out back down towards the floor with wrist extension, and then we're back, fingers up and in our start position. Let's do a few with a little bit more speed, a little faster tempo. So those are hand figure eights. When we talk about the amount of real estate or the brain map for the hands, it's a lot bigger than other body parts. It's also pretty big in the jaw and the tongue. So that cranial system, the hands, the fingers really matter. And sometimes because of that, we'll see great reassessments. So let's go ahead and retest your squat. And with hand figure eights, the first one felt not quite as controlled actually, but by the third one, if we do 2 or 3 repetitions, start to group that pattern, the third one was probably the best one of the day. For me personally, hopefully you're seeing some improvements here too. The next ones we're going to work on the hips. For these, you're going to be on a single leg, so you probably want to hold on to something, especially at first. And the first one, we're going to go ahead and extend the hip, keep the knee straight, and then we're going to circle. Think about the ball and socket joint. So not the pelvis, that's up here, the top of the pelvis, but actually a little lower down, probably 6 to 8 inches lower, that ball and socket joint of the hip. So tall posture, driving that foot behind you and circling through the hip. And then we can go to a side circle. So we're going to bring that foot out to the side again, tall posture, breathe and relax. Nice. So side hip circle, again, focusing on the ball and socket joint. That's the back and the side. Now we're going to go cross body hip circle. So tall spine again. Remember to lengthen. And try going both directions with these hip circles, keeping that foot across the other foot or in a cross body position. And then the last one, we're going to go out in front. So the front hip circle, going both ways there. And you could get really specific here and assess, how do my right hip circles shift my squat position or squat mechanics? How do my left hip circles shift? So let's retest. And those felt better. That second repetition, again, as we grew the pattern, felt a little bit better. So same thing on that other side. We're going to go hip extension or back hip circle first. And circle there. Do a couple the other way. Really work to keep that knee locked and a tall spine. Then out to the side. And both directions with that hip circle, really nice. You got this, guys. And then go cross body. If you're wondering if there's ways to load this, yes, there are. You could hold a kettlebell. You could have a band strapped around the ankle. And so in those cases, we're going to also create an additional strength component. Although if these are brand new, you might be feeling some good amount of work in the hips, practicing body weight so far. Let's retest our squat after doing that other leg. That was probably the best of the day in terms of depth and feeling controlled in that bottom range. Like I could maybe pull the box away and stay there without assistance from it, didn't lose balance. So hopefully hip circles are good for you as well. There might be even a specific one of those 4 positions that maybe felt best or is the best for you to work on. We're then going to move up to the shoulder. So the hip, shoulder, super mobile joints, they should be. It's a use it or lose it thing. So this is going to help you use it and not lose it. Don't worry. If you lost some of it, you can train it to regain it. So let's go ahead and bring locked elbow and arm cross body. So with this cross body position, we're going to do some shoulder circling. So now we're focusing on the ball and socket joint in the shoulder, that glenohumeral joint, staying tall, a few circles each direction. Let's go out to the side. So side shoulder circle, a few each direction. Let's go to an overhead position. So tall posture, breathing, and keep that elbow locked. Try to keep the whole arm as a bar so the elbow is nice and straight. And then the last one, let's go down and in front here. So shoulder circling down into the front. Of course, we could reassess after this first side. I'm going to cruise us through for the rest of the video and go, so you can come back to it if you wanted to do squats here. But I'm going to go through the other shoulder. So we're going cross body. Again, elbow locked, tall spine position, pushing those heels into the floor, crown of the head up, nice and tall. Then we went to a side shoulder circle, again, maintaining length in that spine. And a deep breath here. Let's try going the other direction with that shoulder. And then let's go to overhead. So we got 4 different positions here that we were working on today with the shoulder circles, keeping that elbow locked. And then let's go down and in front. Again, lengthen, lengthen. Really good posture. And we got those shoulders moving and grooving. Let's try the squat again. See how you're feeling. Range of motion wise, smoothness, speed, and control, especially in the bottom range of motion. All right, so you could also change the height of what you're working towards. So I think I'm going to do that at this point because that height is feeling like I have pretty good control in the squat. The last one today, we're going to move into ankle circles. So another great one to potentially hold on to something. We're going to be in tall posture again, but elevating one leg. So if you're struggling with balance or you need to work on balance in a single leg position, please do hold on so that you can actually focus in on what the ankle is doing on the elevated leg. So we're going to lock the knee, stay in a tall posture again, and then go through some ankle circles. I want you to think about letting go of some tension in your stance leg, and then letting go of some tension in the toes. So if your toes are doing a lot of the work, try to really focus in on just that ankle joint, which is different, right, than the toes, and circle both ways. Nice, let's go ahead and switch. So switching sides. Again, see if you can relax, maybe relax your abs a little bit. Relax your jaw a little bit. Go the other way with the ankle circles. And relax your toes and your foot a little bit. Try to really just focus in on that ankle itself. And the lower leg, of course, those muscles are going to help with that ankle circle. Good. And then let's retest one more time. So let's see how your squat feels after ankle circles. And with that shift to a little more depth, a little bit of a challenge, but better than where I started. Hopefully you are too. I look forward to seeing you in our next top 5 at Strong Tower. Thanks.